Yeah, one of the more frustrating games I've been a part of in a while. UC came out and did what we thought they'd do. They pressure a lot on defense, and offensively they like to pound the ball and then try to throw it over your head and then use the quarterback in the run game. Obviously got off to a good start. It's 10-7 right before the half. We've played very well on defense. We've moved the ball on a couple different drives on offense. Offensively, we're running the ball effectively in the first half. We're using our counter, using our mid zone, using our inside zone, using our power. Not just one play. We had a bunch of different run plays that are working. Had made a couple plays in the pass game. And defensively, we were keeping Ritter and Warren under control, and we're not letting them throw it over their heads, which is what you have to do against UC because they're going to run Ritter and Warren, and they're going to try to throw the ball over your head. Need to move the ball before the half. We go backwards and we put ourselves on a short field. And even the last drive of the first half wasn't horrible. We had a 3rd and 7 where we got to get off the field, but they went 10 plays, 44 yards. So even on their scoring drive, they averaged 4.4 yards per play on the drive. So even at halftime, I felt like, okay, defense, we're playing very well. We're doing the things that we want to do. Offensively, we've run the ball good enough. We got to be a little more efficient throwing the ball, but this is going to be a 20-17 type of game. We lose 3 starting O-linemen in the first half. We knew at halftime then, okay, it's going to get harder anytime you lose 3 starting offensive linemen. It's not going to be easier. So we knew, like, hey, we just got to keep doing what we're doing, protect the ball on offense, make some plays on defense. And then we start the second half just like the first half. We come out, we get them to 3rd and 20. We get a sack, we get a holding, we have good stuff going. They're not running the ball. And then they throw the ball on 3rd and 20. It's incomplete, and we're off the field, and we line up offside, And then it gives them another chance, which, again, the offside, I get it. It's not good, the offside, but it's still 3rd and 15. There's no reason not to get off the field on 3rd and 15. And they go throw a go ball and a drop 8, and we get a PI, and we're not in good position, and ends up getting a PI call. And if we're in good position, we probably don't get that called against us. And it keeps the drive alive, and then another 3rd down, 1st down, another 4th down, 1st down, another 3rd down, 1st down. And again, even within that drive, we were doing what we wanted to do on 1st and 2nd down, but 3rd down wasn't good. Not just the 3rd and extra long, but there's a 4th and 6th. There's 4 opportunities to get off the field, and we don't do it. And when you're beat up front offensively, you got to get that stop to start the second half, and we have the stop, and we don't get it. And now it's 21-10, and then we don't get much going in the second half offensively, and then next drive, we get them to 4th and 7, and they throw a flag route into cover 3, and we got somebody trying to do too much, and he's trying to not play his deep third, but try to make a play, and they throw the ball for a touchdown on 4th and 6. And again, even on that drive, it's not like Cincinnati's rolling through us. We're getting in. We stopped them on 3rd down. They just had a short enough field that they could go for it on 4th down and made a play on 4th down to their credit and did what they do. They throw the ball down the field, So then the next drive, they same thing. We second play of the drive, they run a football, and we got a guy there to tackle in the backfield. We miss a tackle, and we have 2 other kids that aren't in really good position, and Warren showed what he can do. His first time was late 3rd quarter that Warren got out in space, and he showed how good he is when he gets out in space. But very frustrating for the game. We knew at halftime it was close. We knew at halftime we'd have some struggles offensively. We knew we were more than capable defensively. From a defensive standpoint, you get 2 balls thrown over your head, and you give up an 83-yard run, and all of a sudden you look up, and it's a 3-possession game as opposed to 1-possession game. And you go home and watch the tape Saturday night, and even in the 3rd quarter, 1st and 2nd downs, and it's not like Cincinnati did a bunch of different things in the second half. They made some chunk plays, and again, prerequisite number 1 to win football games is to stop chunk plays. So you can say, okay, we did a lot of other good things defensively, but the number 1 thing you have to do defensively is not give up big plays. And we didn't give up any big plays in the first half, and we gave up 3 in the second half, and that's the difference in the football game.
All right, we'll open for questions.
What's the situation with the offensive lineman and your other injuries?
Yeah, Sorensen played some. He was limited. He was more on a pitch count where they felt like he could give us, 10 to 15 snaps during the game, and that if you try to play more than that, it wasn't going to be good for him. Obviously, Bester wasn't ready to go. McWood wasn't ready to go. McWood probably played 5, 6, 7 snaps during the game. We'll see. We're hopeful to get, Jack certainly more up and running this week, and then hopefully McWood somewhat and Bester somewhat up and running. The guys up front, too early to tell. Got the MRIs yesterday. They're looking at the MRIs. I'll be getting a report probably right after we get done here of the status is, again, none of the old linemen look like they're out for the season, but we'll see. I don't know if it's going to be, 1, 2, 3 weeks. We'll see as we move forward with that.
So what do you see from Ohio State? Are any major differences with the new coach?
I wouldn't say major differences. They're on a very similar structured defense to ours. So the good news is our offense is seeing kind of what they do. They're a one-high team, very similar to what we do. Obviously a little different clientele, So structure is one thing. What the body types look like is another thing. And then offensively, they're using a ton of tempo. And not that they didn't use tempo last year, but they've used a ton of tempo and going real fast. And they run the ball a ton, and then they try to throw it over your heads, and they get guys exhausted. Indiana, they had Indiana couldn't get lined up, and Indiana was, if they did get lined up, they were exhausted. So it was a very tough. And same thing, UC did a really good job against them early for about a quarter and a half, but their tempo kind of wore them down, and they started bleeding a little bit with some chunk plays, and people can't get lined up on our position. And they're just skill guys. They're so tremendously talented that if you don't have multiple guys around the ball carrier, whether it be a receiver, tight end, running back, quarterback, it can go for a long ways in a hurry. And it typically does. There's some plays that start off and they look like they're fairly well defensed, and then one guy misses a tackle, and next thing you know, the guy steps his foot on the accelerator and it's over in a hurry. You're like, wow, that didn't look like it was going to be an 80-yarder. That looked like they were in position. Then if you're not in position, if you blow something in a coverage or you blow something, with your fits, then it ends in a hurry. So they're what you expect. They're a really good Ohio State team. They've been really good for a number of years, playing in that top 5, top 10 or higher caliber. They don't have any weaknesses. They got good players backed up by good players backed up by so it's not, they got more receivers than they could use, and they got more running backs than they can use. And so it's what you expect, but it's an awesome opportunity for us to continue to figure out where we're at in 2019 and continue, every week is a learning thing. Obviously, Ohio State's going to test your physical toughness. It's certainly going to test your mental toughness. It's certainly going to test your ability to deal with adversity. And those are all things that are really good for our football team.
I'm assuming you've watched the video from Saturday. Did you learn anything from that you didn't know after the game?
Really, what I learned from the video from Saturday was really that we have to eliminate all mistakes and focus more on not really just troubling ourselves as of penalties and jumping outside and stuff like that. If we just eliminate all those mistakes, we'll be fine.
Have you looked at Ohio State at all?
Yes, most definitely. We're going to do some more film watching today, but we know that they are a definitely strong team. They're a good team, and that we're going to have our hands filled, but we're going to get the job done either way that goes.
Have you ever been to an Ohio State game at Ohio State?
I have not. I have not been there, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. I know it's going to be a great atmosphere, and I'm just looking forward to seeing the crowd, really.
Watching the films from Saturday, were there any positives you guys were able to glean out of that game at all? I mean, obviously most of the fans and I'm sure the team was disappointed in the outcome, but were there any positives you could find that you didn't realize right after the game?
Yeah, we knew the game plan. We knew what Cincy wanted to do in certain spots on the field, and for the most part, we had them under control. But in key situations, we couldn't get them off the field. 3rd down and 4th down, we had them 3rd and 4th and long a couple times, and they converted. So if we want to be a good football team, the football team we know we're capable of being, we got to convert on 3rd and 4th down to get the defense off the field.
And what do you know about Ohio State?
I know they're big, fast. They got athletic players. They're pretty basic on offense, so it's just going to come down to us being men and just, doing what we got to do, tackling and covering. But we know what they're going to do. They're pretty basic. They do stuff that we've seen the first 3 weeks, so it's just going to come down to playing football.
My last question is, have you ever been to an Ohio State game?
I have not been to an Ohio State game. My first big football game I've been to was actually the one I played in at Notre Dame, I would say like a big environment. So this will be my first time being in the Horseshoe.
You mentioned not getting off the field on 3rd and 4th down. And is that a product of guys just getting a little too amped up, trying to do too much?
Yeah, bad eye control, just not doing the technique that we're coached, stuff that we can get fixed, and I believe we will get fixed.